All right, so here we are on a little piece of property that I own. This is going to be a survival challenge, kind of an extreme survival challenge compared to a lot of the ones I've seen. I'm starting with basically nothing. I do have a little tent with a sleep trigger here, which will be handy. And let's take a look at our farmland here. And let's go up. I believe we're right up here. So we own these two areas. There are a few trees. Maybe over here I need to look over there and see if there are any trees worth cutting because we really need to make some money. And there are a couple of fields. I think they're both grass fields in different states of growth. So this one's actually ready to mow, so that's promising. Maybe we can do some grass work. But the problem we have is we don't really have a good way to haul grass right now. That's something we probably want to solve today. This is also a grass field, but you can see obviously nothing is coming up yet. So as far as equipment, we have basically nothing. I do have an axe, which is from a mod. It works just like a chainsaw as far as I can tell. I did cut this tree down, thinking maybe I could sell it, but we do have a vehicle somewhere around here. Where did I leave that thing? So I did not leave my vehicle up here, but I did leave a shovel, which I can use to scoop grass, as you can see I was doing previously, and a scythe. So when I said this is going to be extreme survival, I meant it. We basically have all hand tools. And then I need to go find my vehicle because I do have a vehicle around here somewhere, and I found it. I left it here at the drop-off point. Apparently this is all I have to haul anything right now. I tried hauling grass in this before I started recording just to see kind of what was possible, and unfortunately it really is kind of useless. It only holds about 40 or 400 units, and it made me like $20. So I can't keep doing that. That's not going to work. So I need a trailer because I'm going to have to start with grass here. So I need to go to the store and see what's available in my price range, which is basically nothing. I am going to have to lease it. I don't love the idea of leasing, but I mean, in real life, I would just finance a piece of equipment if I needed it. I only have $219, so it's going to have to be very cheap. I'm not sure that there's even going to be anything that I can afford at this point, which would mean I just have to hope that I can do some logging and some mowing and make some money. I think the logging is probably going to be my backup plan. If I cannot afford a wagon to put some grass in, I will probably just do some small scale logging until we have enough for that trailer. So here we are at the store. Let's go ahead and see what kind of deals they have for us. Hopefully it will be something worthwhile, but I have my doubts. So let's see what we can get and what our little Mahindra side-by-side can actually pull. So we're going to go down to trailers and probably miscellaneous because I think that's where the smaller trailers are at. But I guess let's look over here. All right, so there's a little one. It does have a larger capacity by about 4 times than what we currently can do with our Mahindra. Okay, so we have just enough to get this. This would also potentially be useful for logging. So I think this might be a good first purchase because we'll be able to fit larger logs in there, and we'll be able to fit some grass in there. So until we can afford to start maybe baling, I think that's probably going to be what we do. Let's look under miscellaneous too, because I have some mods installed that might offer something a little cheaper. That's not going to work for grass. There's some stuff for truck beds, not going to work for what we need. Yeah, there's nothing there. So I think we're going to have to go with this. Now, this is a very dangerous moment because if I can't make enough money, we're going to be in trouble. I don't think I have anything leased yet. No, I own all the tools that I'm using. I think we just go for it. Is grass the way to go? Probably not, but until I have some equipment, I don't really know if I want to do a bunch of logging. All right, so let's go ahead and lease this. It's going to cost us $178 and then 70 some dollars a day. That leaves us with $40. So now we just have to hope that our Mahindra will pull it okay. That's always something I struggle with because I'm fairly new to this game. I don't always know like what attachments go with what vehicles. Now the combinations in the store do help with that, where you can press, I think it's R3 and see the combinations for an implement. That is very helpful. Okay, yeah, that works perfectly. Let's go ahead and head up to our property, and we'll do one load of grass just to see how long it takes and kind of what the profitability of that kind of work is. I know it's not going to be much because grass really isn't worth much, and that's the wrong way. Let's go ahead and turn around. I missed my turn. Let's see. So yeah, I know grass isn't worth much. Logs are a possibility, but we don't have any good like evergreen trees to cut down at the moment. So even logging will be a little bit of a chore. But what I need to think about is, I know short term I need some money because I have some daily costs now. But what I really need to think about is long term. What am I going to do to build a sustainable business? Now, there are contracts, which if we really get in a bind, I'll do some contracts, but I'm trying to avoid that. I'm not sure what contracts are currently available. While we're stopped here, let's pull over to the side and let's look just as a backup plan. So we do have some contracts here. This one, that must be is that a small field? That seems like a very small payment. Fertilizing, and I can borrow the items, right? So I don't need my own equipment to do this. And that's really nice because I can do a couple of small jobs and get some money in the bank. Transporting, this is from a mod. I'm not sure because it's pallets. I don't think I'll be able to do these yet, but I would like to do some transportation contracts eventually because I like handling pallets, weirdly enough. So we do have a backup plan for getting some money in the bank in the event that we're not able to kind of bootstrap everything with grass and wood. There's the little restaurant. We live right behind that. This little area here is also ours, but as you can see, these trees are not the kind that make very good money from logging. So let's start with some grass work. We'll start with this field since it's ready to harvest. Go ahead, go up here and get our shovel and our scythe. I've actually seen some videos of people harvesting like wheat with a scythe, and it's so fascinating to me because I know long ago we must have done it that way, but now we have such efficient equipment that it wouldn't make any sense. But I've always been drawn to the most inconvenient methods of doing things for some reason. I think it just feels more meaningful to do it by hand, I guess. Let's go ahead and dump this grass here into this trailer. Boom. Hopefully I'll still be able to see my scythe. And then let's put this right there. Yeah, this trailer's going to do pretty good for grass. I think it will do good for logging too. But obviously the limitation there is going to be the Mahindra. Like how much can it pull? I know it's not a super powerful machine, so let's just start right up here. I'm going to grab... Did I lose my shovel? It's in there somewhere. Oh my. That was scary. I thought I lost it forever. Let's drop that right there. And then let's grab our scythe. It's so funny to me that these are basically vehicles. You have to enter the vehicle and then you have to turn it on. That's hilarious. So I have it on. Do I have to lower it? No. All right. So I'm going to start mowing. I'm just going to do a small section and see how many units of grass we get and how much we can fit in our trailer. Okay, there's the mowing done for this section. Now let's see how much we can fit in this here shovel. It's a little tricky to get it angled properly, but as you can see, it actually picks up quite a lot. We're holding 288 liters right now. It does seem to get like heavy in a way. It kind of drops lower and lower the more that I do. And that's, I mean, it's holding a ridiculous amount. So I'm going to go ahead and empty it. I might even have to re-grip it. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to re-grip it because otherwise I'm not going to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to end up dropping it on the ground. So let's re-grip it. There we go. Oh, not that way. Beautiful. And I do believe this holds 1,600 liters. So we're actually going to come out okay on this section. We're not going to, I don't think we're going to run out of space based on what I've done so far. Try not to dump it all out. There we go. My arms look so uncomfortable right now. It reminds me of using a weed eater in real life. And it's always very awkward. Last little bit here. And perfect. Let's put the scythe up here where I will remember it. Maybe off the road, though. Not going to worry about turning off the engine because it's a scythe. Whoops. Let's grab the shovel. And let's try that again. I am hitting the wrong button, obviously. Let's see if I can get this turned over. Boy, that's awkward. And we should be able to pick up all of this, I think, because I don't know what the actual limit on the shovel is. It seems to be able to hold a lot. We basically need 600 more liters to be able to fill our trailer, or 500 or so. But as you can see, it does get heavy after a minute, and you kind of have to readjust, which is fine. Oh my goodness, we're 11 off. That's pretty cool. We may not actually be able to fit all this because it was at like 1,100, and I think it'll hold 1,600. Okay, we can leave some in the shovel and come back for it later. So this is going to be our first experiment of the episode, is how much money will we get for this grass? If it's decent, we can actually fill up this too. It has, I think it can hold 400 liters in the Mahindra's little rear dump bed. The nice thing is the animal feed plant, which is where we're selling this, is not too far away. Let me check prices and if there's anyone closer that will buy grass, because I like to eliminate long routes when I'm selling things for very little money. Nope, just the animal dealer. So I'm not sure if that's $124 per 1,000 liters. I'm guessing it might be. So this might be $200 a load, which would be okay. I would be okay with that. It's going to be a slow start, but that's totally fine with me. I don't think they'll mind if I drive through this little grassy patch. And the moment of truth. Was all that work worth it? Let's go ahead and watch our money go up by hopefully a lot. If it's less than $100, I'll feel sad. Let's try it now. Hey, $198, almost $200. That's really not terrible for the amount of time that took. And I think that scalability-wise, if we can get a bigger trailer, it makes a lot of sense to do more grass cutting. Here we are back to mowing. Again, I think it would be really nice to maybe upgrade our mowing situation. I don't know if I have any like mods installed for small mowers besides this scythe. I know there's a push mower, but I don't know that that would be any faster than this actually. So I think I would like a ride-on mower for my next upgrade. But I think loading is really the part that is going to be the bottleneck, because this actually goes pretty quickly. But I think a forage trailer, if we could lease a forage trailer, I think that would really step our game up and allow us to do a lot more in terms of transporting cut grass. Looks like a couple more swipes and I'll have this next patch of grass mowed and ready to load. I'll probably move the Mahindra over a little closer so I don't have as far to travel. But I really do think we need to try to make enough to upgrade and focus on mowing and eventually maybe baling and silage. I know silage is supposed to be really profitable. I've experimented a little bit with it and it seems okay, but I don't think I've reached the scale that you need to really see silage pay off in the way that a lot of folks talk about it, which is okay. Maybe we will in this series. So that's going to be it for this patch. Hopefully we'll be able to fit it all, but we can put some in the dump bed of the Mahindra and that will be fine as well. So let's go up here and move a little bit closer. So that we can take another load of grass off. That should put us at right around $400, which might give us enough to lease another piece of equipment. Let me take a look in the store here at forage trailers, because I think that's going to be a huge upgrade for us. And hopefully it'll be pullable by the Mahindra, though it might not be because it needs PTO power. But they're also very expensive. My goodness. So I think this is the one that we would be able to use, but we're going to need a tractor too. How much is it to lease? I know I don't have enough money right now. I want to know how much it is. It won't even tell me, so apparently it's very expensive. We'll probably need some kind of a tractor to power that, so we may be better off with maybe a different configuration. Maybe we focus on the mowing part because loading it really doesn't take that long right now. So let's look at mowers. This would be nice. I don't have enough money to lease it. That would be nice. I don't know that it's that much wider than my Scythe. And then we have this too, which is at least right on, so it wouldn't be as backbreaking of work. So maybe this is what we'll shoot for. I don't know how much it's going to be to lease it, but we will check it out after this load of grass and see how it shapes up in terms of our finances and whether we can afford to upgrade from that Scythe to a real mower. So we actually ended up with a bit more grass than I expected. So we are using the Mahindra's dump bed here. We do have a little bit more to go because I think it'll hold 400 liters. So let's grab a little bit more. That's probably going to be a bit too much, but we'll just put what we can in there. Again, the shovel gets heavy and I have to kind of re-grip it. But looks like I was able to do what I needed to do there and dump the rest out. That'll work. So we should have 400 liters here, 460, and then 1,600 here. So about 2,000 liters. So let's head off and sell this, and then maybe we'll be able to lease either a bigger trailer, though judging by the way this Mahindra is handling, we may not be able to handle a bigger trailer. I would love to get a forage wagon, but we really have to get a tractor first for that to work. So I think we might go for a mower because loading this really isn't too bad. If we could get a mower and maybe a higher capacity trailer that the Mahindra can pull, that would be a big upgrade and hopefully help us get some money coming in a little bit faster. We still haven't tried logging. Again, I don't really want to mess with logging on these types of trees. So we probably won't touch logging until we get a good piece of property with some good logging trees on it. Oh, it's really struggling up this hill. Let's see if we can... Yeah. It made it, but it definitely bogged down quite a bit. Whoa! Okay. All right. We survived. I really don't want to overturn these. I'm not sure if they'll actually dump out, but I don't really have a good way of riding them at this point, so I need to be a little bit more careful. I don't have anything that could lift them up and fix them, so we'd have to maybe finagle things a bit if that happened, just so that the game wasn't completely dead in the water at that point. We also need to look at some passive income options. Something like a greenhouse would be nice, or even I know there are some like solar panel things you can get that will generate some passive income each month, but they're pretty expensive if I remember correctly. So that's going to be something we explore later in the game. Right now we're just doing grunt work, trying to survive and working on maybe eventually upgrading from a tent to a proper living space. So let's get in here and let's dump this. Should end up at about $400, which should give us enough to lease something. But we can't really do that until we have enough to cover the leasing cost the next day to, well, I guess we have a whole other day to kind of gather grass. So we're definitely in better shape now than we were at the beginning of the episode. Before we quit for the day, I do want to see what our plan is for next time. I think that mower would be nice. Let me see what the Scythe's width is. 0.5 meters. And this is 1.5. So that would triple our cutting width. That's interesting. Can we afford to lease it? We cannot. Interesting. So I guess the startup cost of this, because they charge a little bit more when you lease something for the first time, I guess the startup cost is a bit too much. So we're going to have to save up a little bit more before we can do that. But we have a good rhythm with our mowing. This is 2 meters. So this might actually be a better option. Still not enough money. We also could take out a loan, but I really don't want to get into debt this early. And then as far as trailers go, for something bigger capacity, it's 1.6, that's 8. Something like this would be good, but I don't think the Mahindra will pull it. And it's also way too expensive at the moment. So we have some work to do. I would say we need to do enough grass today to upgrade our mower. And then once we've upgraded our mower, we can start really pumping out the grass and hopefully get to a point to where we can lease a proper vehicle that can pull a bigger trailer. Okay, so I've done another couple of loads of grass, and now we have enough to lease our mower. But what I realize is that we have too many bottlenecks, right? We have our mower, which is small, but it's not really that slow. But also the drive to the animal feed plant where we sell the grass is not ideal. So what I want to optimize for is less trips. I want to make fewer trips, which means I need bigger capacity. So I don't think I'm going to be able to pull a bigger trailer with the Mahindra. What I think I'm going to have to do is actually sell the Mahindra. Now I do own this, and I think it's worth maybe $10,000 or $15,000. So I could sell it, and it will give me enough money to lease the equipment I need. This is not ideal. I don't want to go from owning things to leasing, but in these early days where I'm relying on transporting a lot of grass, I feel like it's maybe the only way to get things done without taking just ages. So let's go ahead and head over to the store, which I believe is down this way, and we'll see what our options are, and that will probably be where we end this day. I want to go ahead and get our new equipment ready for our next day of grass harvesting. And then we might jump into logging if that still is inefficient, but I don't think we're going to need to. Once we can transport more than 1,600 liters or 2,000 liters of grass at a time, I think we're going to be in good shape. And the store is right here. So let's go ahead and see what they'll give me for this and then what I can get. The first thing I'm going to lease, though, is our trailer. So let's go ahead in here. And I think we're going to need like a proper tipper. Let's see if there's anything on sale. That would be nice. Nope, I don't need any of this stuff. So let's go up here and see if we can get a proper trailer. Let me check here and make sure there's nothing that will work. Might be a little cheaper. Shovel, of course, is not going to do the job. I do like these configurations here. This holds quite a bit. It's the tipper, right? Yeah. And then there's prospector. I don't know what that actually does. But let's see. There's nothing else here. There's another tipper. It can hold a lot. Quite a few configurations here. Let's see. So with this setup, we would need a truck that could take this too. So we don't have enough money to even see how much that lease is. But I think with selling the Mahindra, we could lease a truck with a dump bed like this that would hold a lot more. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments how to tell how much something can hold. But looking at this, the truck that can take it is going to be here somewhere. So I think it's one of these little lizard trucks. They're very cheap, actually. Then we have these big boys here, which I don't know that we're going to get into those at the moment. I'm not sure if we could even lease those with the Mahindra sold, but I think we could get one of these, which is really cheap, and then we could get the dump bed attachment, which I think would give us enough room. Let's see how much capacity our current trailer has and compare. I think it's up here under trailers. So this is 1.6 square cubic meters. Cubic meters, I guess, would be the term, right? So 1.6. So we'd have quite a bit more capacity with one of those dump beds. Okay, so now, moment of truth, how much will they give us for our Mahindra? They'll give us $13,000. We'll be able to return this. Let's look at trailers really quick. I'm not sure if I can actually pull a tipper trailer like this with a normal truck. So I think the safer bet, and this is it's actually smaller than the dump bed on the truck I'm looking at. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a leap of faith here. We are going to sell our vehicle, which is terrifying because if the math doesn't work out, we're going to be stuck in even worse shape than we were when we started. But let's go ahead and sell this. And then let's return this. So we're not paying for it anymore. Then let's see if we can get us a truck that can take that dump bed. I think it's one of these. They're the same price. I'm not sure what the difference is. Let's go with this one. I guess there's a lot of configurations for these mod vehicles. I'm not going to make it any more expensive than I have to. I do like those tires, though. Wow, the leasing price on this is insanely cheap. We're just going to go with it. I know it's not entirely realistic, but we'll go with that. So I think this is the one I want. Oh, yeah, there's like an unrealistic one. I don't want to do that, but I don't mind going the extended route, and we'll keep everything else the same. And let's see if I messed up here. I think it might not fit. I think I might need a different truck. Let's see, moment of truth. Will you go on to this? You will not. Okay. Which, I mean, look at that. Probably wouldn't fit. So let's go back to the store, and we need to find the truck that actually goes with that. It's not the Lizard. I think it's the one with the XL symbol. Yeah, it's probably one of these. Oh, geez, I hope I can afford to lease these. Let's try this, I guess. Sure hope this is it. That's the problem sometimes. I don't exactly know what goes together. Does it? Oh, it does have combinations. Yes. Okay, perfect. So this is what I need. If I just use that R3 combinations screen, it's going to save me a lot of trouble. So this is the truck I need. Again, I'm not going anything fancy for now. I am going to change the color to a green of some sort, kind of like that one. And then let's go ahead and see how much the lease is. All right, $1,600. It's a lot, but it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and return this, which was a waste of about $1,000, which at this point in our progress really hurts, but we're not going to fret because this should enable us to haul a lot of grass very quickly. Let's see if I can actually get underneath it. And there we go. It scared me for a second. I didn't think it was going to actually let me connect up. So here's our new truck. Yes, it's leased. Yes, we're going to have to pay some money, but now we have a little bit more room to play. Oh, don't want to wreck our brand new truck already. We have a little bit more room to play. We have $11,000, which could actually go to leasing a mower, which I probably will do. And then we'll be able to really knock out a lot of that grass field quickly. And we'll be able to haul a lot more grass. And I'll probably look into getting that wider mower at that point. Let's turn this off because I don't want to have to refuel yet. Let's find our scythe. Where did I put that? There it is. All right, let's just mow enough to get an idea of how much capacity we're going to have with this truck. I probably should have done this from the beginning, but I wasn't really sure if I was going to be leasing things or just buy only. But I think the only way to really do it truly from scratch the way I want to is to lease things. And if you think about it in real life, a lot of times with big equipment purchases, you're not buying them outright unless you're fortunate enough to be able to do that. But most of us are probably going to be financing. So this kind of simulates that. So it has 148 liters. It doesn't tell me what the total capacity is, but I think it's going to be able to carry a lot. It's 1%. So we're going to be able to carry a ton of grass. I think that I'm going to call it here. We have a nice upgrade. We're going to be able to make some money next time. And when we come back, I'll probably have a slightly better mower as well, because I think I'm going to get the walk behind mower, which is, let me show you. I think I'm going to go for this because it has a 2 meter cutting width. This one only has a 1.5. And yes, I have to walk behind it, but whatever. Maybe this one goes faster though. Ooh, this one does go quite a bit faster. So I'll end up with one or the other of these. I'm going to end up leasing them. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab this for a lease. It's not too expensive. And then let's jump on over to that. Okay, so now we have a rideable mower with a wider width by 3 times versus the scythe we were using. And it goes 15 miles an hour, which is fantastic. And here we go. So next episode, we should be able to really start raking in some money from our grass and hopefully avoid having to log. If we do have to log, we have a nice dump bed on this truck that we can throw some logs into. Although I don't think we have tension straps because it's kind of made for holding material, like granular material rather than logs. But we should be able to knock out a bunch of mowing and get a bunch of grass into that truck and hopefully start making some real progress on building up a proper farm. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll see you next time.